This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Friday, the 15th day of December in the year 2023. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. Guyana and Venezuela have declared that they will not threaten or use force against one another in any circumstances, including those that are consequential to any existing controversy between the two. The meeting between President Irfan Ali and Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro ended last evening in St. Vincent, with the two sides agreeing that the border controversy will be resolved in accordance with international law, including the 1966 Geneva Agreement. The two sides have also agreed to establish a joint commission of foreign ministers and technical persons from the two countries to address matters as mutually agreed. In a joint declaration which was not signed by the two presidents, Guyana and Venezuela also agreed to continue dialogue on other pending matters. They have also agreed to refrain from escalating any conflict or disagreement. Guyana and Venezuela have also declared that they will meet again in Brazil within the next 3 months or at the time agreed to by them. The declaration also noted Guyana's position that the border case is properly before the International Court of Justice, and that is where it will remain for a final settlement, while the declaration also noted Venezuela's rejection of the court to adjudicate the matter. Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonzalez,
noted Guyana's assertion that it is committed to the process and procedures of the International Court of Justice for the resolution of the border controversy. Noted Venezuela's assertion of its lack of consent and lack of recognition of the International Court of Justice and its jurisdiction in the border controversy.
Before the release of the declaration, President Irfan Ali told reporters in St. Vincent that there would be no retreating from Guyana's position that the border case remains before the International Court and that Essequibo belongs to Guyana.
I made it clear that the controversy must be resolved at the ICJ. And we are unwavering and resolute in ensuring that Guyana's case is presented, defended, and that the ICJ will issue its decision on the merits of the case, which of course is binding on all the parties. I made it clear that the process leading to the ICJ is part of the Geneva Agreement, and that the Geneva Agreement provides for the UN Secretary General to determine where the controversy must be finally determined. And it is a UNSG acting within the confines of the Geneva Agreement who determined that that place is the ICJ.
The meeting between the two presidents was facilitated by CARICOM and the Community for Latin America and Caribbean States. A number of CARICOM leaders attended yesterday's meeting in St. Vincent. Before the start of the meeting, Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley, said just getting the presidents together at the table was a success. The outcome of the meeting is being seen as the road to an easing of tension between Guyana and Venezuela, in wake of Venezuela's acts of aggression against Guyana in recent weeks, with a buildup of troops at the border and that referendum to reinforce the country's claims of Guyana's territory. Guyana has repeatedly rejected Venezuela's aggression and its claims to Guyana's Essequibo region. More news coming up in just a moment.
'Twas the start of GTT Christmas, and all through the land, not a smartphone was silent, all buzzing in hand. The stockings were hung by the modem with care, in hopes that GTT prizes would soon be here. They say top up a grand or activate a data plan and just find the letters to GTT Xmas in the land. Plus, pay your bills on time, don't be a Grinch, and you could be a winner of the GTT Mega Million.
Oh my lord! I just love to shop in this store. My customers, them gonna love all these things. So many different things in one place. Household items, electronics, toys, stationery, confectionery, exercise equipment, shoes and clothes for men, women and children, school things, costume, jewelry, perfume, makeup. Oh, look the makeup!
Giftland Office Max, Guyana's favorite department store.
Come 1966, when independence is now to be gained from the colonial master, we saw Venezuela upping the ante in relation to what it can now do to a small country on its eastern border. And it started all the activities, and I'll name a couple, which not only was a violation of our territorial integrity, but also was an undermining of our investment prospects in that almost 3/5 of Guyana. I am glad that we signed a deal with ExxonMobil that had geopolitical advantages about it, although a number of people said that it was the most rotten deal that we ever did. We are going to see the benefit of it.
Your time to win big. The Massey Stores Christmas Jackpot promotion is back and bigger than before. Spend $5,000 at any Massey Stores to be the lucky winner of a brand new MGZS and fantastic weekly store prizes from now until January 31st, 2024. What are you waiting for? Head to your nearest Massey Stores to shop now. See our Facebook and Instagram pages for more details. Massey Stores, our family serving your family.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors, that my crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Bust the flavors. Bust the flavors.
While the Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union has been ordered by the court to begin preparations for a special general meeting to be held by the 5th of February 2024. At the High Court this morning, Justice Navendra Singh handed down the order in his decision for the credit union to call the special general meeting and to publish a notice for the holding of the meeting to elect new office bearers for the Committee of Management of the credit union. The court also ordered that 3 members of the Committee of Management, Trevor Ben, Patrick Mentor, and Rajdai Jaggernaut, be responsible for the preparations and execution of the general meeting, positing that the remaining members of the Committee of Management do not appear serious in the management of the credit union affairs. This is after the Committee of Management disregarded a previous ruling by the High Court. The ruling is being seen as a win for ousted Chairman of the Credit Union, Trevor Ben. Many of his supporters and credit union members have been pushing for the special meeting to once again elect him to head the credit union. Ben was removed last year as chairman following a no-confidence vote by members of the management committee. A new chairperson, Karen Van Slytman Corbin, took over the reins of the credit union, but she was barred for months by the court from executing any duties on behalf of the credit union. This morning, the court reinstated her as chair to oversee the day-to-day operations of the Guyana Public Service Credit Union. However, the court also ruled that she must have no responsibility over the hosting of the upcoming special general meeting. The attorney at law for the applicants, Mahali McCalmont and others, senior counsel Roysdale Ford, told News Source that the decision of the court was made clear and he does not expect that there be any flouting of the court's orders. He said should a committee of management or senior officers at a credit union attempt to thwart the ruling of the court, the applicants will be moving back to the courts to have penalties instituted against them. Senior counsel Ford also told News Source that also the decision could be appealed. It would have no direct bearing on the hosting of the elections unless there is a ruling to the effect from the appeal court. Following the no-confidence vote against Mr. Ben, 3 members of the credit union, Mahali McCalmont, Keith Marks, and Natasha Clements, approached the High Court for several declarations, including an order to invalidate several meetings which were called following Ben's removal. The applicants had submitted to the court that after a no-confidence motion was passed against Trevor Ben at a special committee meeting in April of this year, he was removed as the chairman, but not as a member of the Committee of Management. When contacted for a comment, Mr. Ben said he intends to respect the ruling of the court and will be working along with his colleagues to carry out today's ruling. 3 months after he was barred from leaving the country, opposition member of parliament David Patterson is suing the state. Patterson, who is an executive member of the Alliance for Change, has filed a fixed-date application in the court, seeking an award of damages in excess of $100,000, in addition to exemplary damages for breach of his fundamental right to freedom of movement as guaranteed by the Constitution. As he was preparing to leave Guyana to deliver a presentation to the Black Caucus of the U.S. Congress back in September, he was denied travel from the Chedijag International Airport on the night of September 26, despite an order permitting him to leave the country. The Guyana Police Force subsequently apologized to the opposition member of parliament, explaining that he was mistakenly left on an immigration department watch list that barred him from flying. But in the case brought against the Attorney General Anil Nandlal, MP Patterson, through his attorney Nigel Hughes, told the court that he was traveling on official duties as a member of parliament when he was barred from leaving the country, although the magistrate's court had earlier granted him permission to travel in and out of Guyana, despite being charged. It was explained that upon arriving at the airport, the MP's documents were processed and stamped by an immigration officer, and he was permitted to proceed to the departure lounge. However, while he was there, he was told that he could no longer leave and that he was on a no-fly list. According to the court documents, MP Patterson immediately made contact with his attorney, who informed the immigration officer that the court had granted him permission to leave the country, and denial of that right would be a breach of his fundamental rights guaranteed by the Constitution. But he was still prevented from leaving the country. It was noted that the opposition member was forced to incur expenses of returning to Georgetown and paying a penalty for lost travel and accommodation. The chief immigration officer, who is the police commissioner, subsequently admitted that there was no lawful basis for preventing Mr. Patterson from departing the country. In October, the opposition MP sent a demand for payment of compensation letter to the Attorney General Anil Nandlal. The Attorney General failed to acknowledge the receipt of the request and therefore offered no compensation. Attorney at law Nigel Hughes said his client has suffered loss, humiliation, and embarrassment and ought to be compensated. The case will be heard on the 1st of February next year.
A third oil production vessel, the Prosperity FPSO, has begun producing oil offshore Guyana. This project was delivered under budget and ahead of schedule. The Payara development will take production to over 600,000 barrels of oil per day next year, resulting in more revenues for Guyana.
It's your time to win big. The Massey Stores Christmas Jackpot promotion is back and bigger than before. Spend $5,000 at any Massey Stores to be the lucky winner of a brand new MGZS and fantastic weekly store prizes from now until January 31st, 2024. What are you waiting for? Head to your nearest Massey Stores to shop now. See our Facebook and Instagram pages for more details. Massey Stores, our family serving your family.
Look at the breathtaking beauty of the Essequibo. From its pristine rivers to its abundant resources, it's a treasure that belongs to Guyana, and we ask Venezuela to respect the rule of international law.
Our commitment to this land is not just about ownership. It's about preserving its beauty and resources for our people and future generations.
The controversy between Guyana and Venezuela was settled internationally as full, perfect, and final in 1899. Essequibo belongs to Guyana.
Finals is coming to your town. Come, let's celebrate with the world's #1 stout Guinness. It's the Guinness Sounds of Greatness Final on Saturday, December 16th at the Mackenzie Bus Park, Linden. 16 DJs, one crown. Who will walk away with a title for $1.6 million in cash and prizes up for grabs. Hosted by DJ Frost, guest DJs, DJ Brutal, DJ Al Rule, DJ Puffy, and Dynamic Sound. Time starts at 6 p.m. and competition starts at 7 p.m. Saturday, December 16th. Guinness Sounds of Greatness Finals, Linden at the Mackenzie Bus Bar, celebrating Guinness through music.
Must be 18 plus to drink Guinness. Please enjoy Guinness responsibly.
Hundreds of Guyanese today pay their last respects to the 4 remaining servicemen who lost their lives tragically in a helicopter crash last week while in service to the country. The 4 who were laid to rest today, Brigadier Gary Beaton, Colonel Michael Shahood, Lieutenant Colonel Sean Welcome, and Staff Sergeant Jason Khan, were remembered as silent heroes, visionary leaders, and true Guyanese patriots who dedicated their lives to defending Guyana's territorial integrity and sovereignty. 4 separate funeral ceremonies were held. At the Promenade Gardens, Beaton, Welcome, and Khan received a military-style funeral, while the homegoing service for Colonel Shahood was held at the Brickdam Cathedral. He too received military honors. At both locations, a somber mood enveloped the atmosphere as the caskets draped with a golden arrowhead were ushered in. President Irfan Ali, in celebrating the life of Brigadier Beaton, said he was a man of class, whose character was one of impeccable standards.
He did not allow any circumstance to dictate his behavior, his attitude, or his service. He rose above every single challenge. And that is worth celebrating.
Brigadier Beaton was credited with developing a community-oriented program using the engineering core of the Guyana Defense Force to build trust and confidence in the communities through involvement of people to create respect and bring positivity to the Guyana Defense Force. He had also focused heavily on the development of hinterland airstrips that were strategic and remain strategic to the work of the government and the GDF. Chief of Staff of the Guyana Defense Force, Brigadier Omar Khan, said a decorated member of the armed forces at the time of his death was spearheading works at the Kaitro and Etteringbank airstrips and was also instrumental in the repairs to many of the roads and bridges across communities.
Brigadier Beaton did not only build structures, he also built relationships and foster relationships, good ones, professional ones, that helped shape lives, including mine. His remarkable service to our nation was recognized with numerous awards, including the Military Efficiency Medal, the 40th and 50th Anniversary Medals, and the prestigious Military Service Medal.
Meanwhile, late Lieutenant Colonel Sean Welcome was remembered as a son of the soil who served his country with dignity, honor, and pride. President Ali, in paying tribute to Lieutenant Colonel Welcome, said he came from a family of service in Guyana and was committed to his country. Noting that this was not the first time that Lieutenant Colonel Welcome was on the front line, the president said when Guyana's response to the COVID-19 pandemic is chronicled, Sean Welcome's name will be as documented and celebrated as he would have played a key role in keeping the country safe.
Spearheading the operational aspect of this work meant that every day during that period, he put his life at risk. He put his family life at risk in helping us to get people vaccinated, in helping us to take support to the families, in helping us to keep society, keep our country safe, and to keep every Guyanese safe. All of Guyana must be grateful for this silent leader who gave of his best, who sacrificed his life many times before the 6th of December in service to people and country.
His legacy, the president said, will live on. He was also remembered as a man of integrity and intelligence and a former member of the elite unit known as the Special Forces, which comprised the military's best and bravest.
As a soldier, Sean Welcome was a consummate professional. He was a role model for younger soldiers and subordinate officers. His vast operational experience and steadfast commitment to discipline earned him the respect and admiration of his peers. His service in various units within the Guyana Defense Force attests to his commitment and record of excellence. His expertise in search and rescue missions was one of the reasons why he served with distinction within the Civil Defense Commission. He helped to build the capacity and capability of the CDC to respond to civil disasters.
Meanwhile, Colonel Michael Shehud was also remembered as an extraordinary son of the soil and, according to the president, a superhero in uniform.
To his wife, your son would grow to know that his father was nothing short of a superhero. We will do everything to ensure that he is remembered and celebrated as a superhero.
Colonel Shehud, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, noted was fearless, efficient, reliable, and dedicated to his service to Guyana. His traits, the president said, will live on through his son. Staff Sergeant Jason Khan, who was posthumously promoted to Warrant Officer Class 2, was remembered by the Chief of Staff as a life hero who demonstrated a profound commitment to his country and the military.
Throughout his military career, Warrant Officer Class 2 Khan exhibited unwavering dedication, unyielding courage, and professionalism. He ascended through the ranks from private to staff sergeant, the rank he held at the time of his death, earning each promotion through sheer hard work, discipline, and profound commitment to his duties. His last promotion to the rank of Warrant Officer Class 2 was done posthumously. He deserved that. He died defending Guyana. He died on the front line, doing what he was trained to do.
Prime Minister Mark Phillips, ministers of government, members of the opposition, members of the Guyana Defense Force, members of the local judiciary, as well as the Speaker of the National Assembly joined family and friends to show their respects to those who were laid to rest today. Lieutenant Colonel Michael Charles, who was also killed in that helicopter crash, was laid to rest on Wednesday. He too was remembered as a legend. A businessman's early morning test drive of a vehicle he was planning to purchase turned fatal this morning when he lost control of the vehicle and crashed into a canal, receiving multiple injuries that eventually claimed his life. The police identified the dead man as 31-year-old Sahid Hamid of Quarantine, Berbice. The police statement indicated that early this morning, Hamid picked up a 4x4 pickup that he was planning to purchase from another man and took the vehicle for a test drive. Eyewitnesses reported to the police that the vehicle was being driven at a fast rate along the Jackson Creek Road in Berbice when Hamid lost control and crashed into a nearby canal. He was pulled from the vehicle and rushed to the Skeldon Hospital, where doctors pronounced him dead. The police said the probe into the deadly crash is ongoing. Two men lost their lives in an accident last night along the Diamond Access Road moments after one of them allegedly stole a motorcycle, and the two were making an escape. The incident took place at around 11:20. A police report stated that the owner of the motorcycle, who is a security guard, had parked the bike to make a purchase from a shop when one of the men snatched it and sped away, picking up his friend later on. The two were speeding along the Diamond Access Road with the stolen bike when, in an attempt to overtake a truck, the bike connected with the back of the truck, pitching both the rider and the pillion rider onto the roadway. An ambulance was summoned as both men suffered multiple injuries to their bodies. The two were identified as Mark Green and Ashton McCurdy. They were both rushed to the Diamond Hospital, where McCurdy was pronounced dead on arrival, while Green died while being treated. The driver of the truck was taken into custody for questioning, while the owner of the motorcycle has since visited the police and has positively identified what is left of the stolen bike. He also told the police that one of the men was known to him.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyoil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyoil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyoil has now repositioned itself as market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor at the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Look who's in the mix now. The new Buster Soda Water. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 artificial flavors. 100% refreshing. Taste Buster Soda Water today. Buster Soda Water, now available for only $120.
With your regional and international news tonight, I'm Svetlana Marshall. In the region, a man who eluded serving a prison sentence in the U.S. for over 20 years while hiding in Trinidad and Tobago was extradited to the United States on Wednesday, Trinidad Guardian said in a report. According to that report, the United States Embassy of Port of Spain revealed on Thursday in a statement that Trinidad and Tobago national Kim Maharaj was taken back to the U.S., where he's expected to begin serving time for a gang assault. The statement said Maharaj will begin serving his 12-year sentence for a 1998 gang assault in the state of New York on December 14. Marshals from the United States Marshal Service and Diplomatic Security Service agents assigned to the Regional Security Office at the U.S. Embassy in Port of Spain escorted Maharaj from the capital city to the United States. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the U.S. Justice Department's Office of International Affairs also played critical roles in the extradition. The embassy said Trinidad's Court of Appeal dismissed Maharaj's challenge to his extradition in November, ending 5 years of legal challenges. Maharaj was arrested in 2016 in Trinidad on a DUI charge, and authorities discovered he was wanted in the U.S. Venezuela opposition presidential candidate Maria Corina Machado will not appeal her ban on holding public office because she has never been officially notified of it, she said Thursday. According to Reuters, Machado, 56, is among a handful of prominent opposition figures who have been barred from office in what they say are unfair decisions by the Comptroller General. The appeals process, which is open until Friday, was agreed last month between the opposition and the government of President Nicolas Maduro. The United States, which broadly eased sanctions on the Maduro government on the back of guarantees for the 2024 election, had conditioned the continuation of that relief on Caracas beginning to lift the bans on free political prisoners and wrongfully detained Americans by November 30. But the Venezuelan government has not yet begun prisoner releases, and the Biden administration said earlier this month it was reconsidering sanctions relief. And finally tonight, international news. Prince Harry scored the biggest win yet in his legal war against British tabloids on Friday when London's High Court ruled that he had been a victim of phone hacking and other unlawful acts by Mirror Group journalists with the knowledge of their editors, according to Reuters. King Charles's younger son, who became the first senior British royal for 130 years to give evidence in court when he appeared at a trial in June, was awarded £140,600 after the judge agreed that he had been targeted by journalists working for Mirror Group newspaper. The judge's conclusion that the editors of the Daily Mirror, Sunday Mirror, and Sunday People knew about the wrongdoing vindicates Harry's arguments that the senior press figures had known about and covered up wrongdoing. Today is a great day for truth as well as accountability, Harry, who was not at court, said in a statement read by his lawyer. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.